Is this an important slide? Okay. Do they get to 5 minutes on this before they ding? Okay, just an important. Okay. The bong away? Oh, gong. I think they said bong. I'm like, what were you doing over there? What is that? The gong. The gong was good. Right, so my name is David Schmidt. I'm with the Department of Bioproducts, Biosystems Engineering, and I'm here to talk about Canvas and my course. I think that was the plan, and I could probably do it in the 5-minute lightning talk, but I think what we want to do is ask a few questions and stuff like that. So the class is fully online. It's been offered since 2011. So I've been online since 2011, the summer of 2011. I started, so I've had 13 full semesters online with, this is my lowest course numbers of 360. I was up to as high as 620 in one semester. And contrary to what Mike said, I think we have reached a point. I saw a big drop this year in my student numbers, and I think it's because there's lots of online courses to choose from now. So people, one of their criteria is, and my students, I have them asked, like, how did they find the course? And they said, I picked online, and then I needed a liberal ed theme this, and that's how they sorted through the course. So now if there's 20 of them up there, they're going to have to choose among them. When I started, there wasn't a choice. They could pick one online course that met that requirement, and then our department offered a couple more, so then they had more of our department options, but now everybody's got it. So I think we are going to reach a saturation when online isn't necessarily going to mean more students in your class. I do think, and it'd be interesting to see, like, okay, all these people are taking these online courses, where are they coming from? Are students taking more classes because online? No, we're just robbing from some other lesser department over on the other campus, which is a good thing, right? But at some point, we're gonna be robbing from each other, and I think we're already doing that. And so now our departments are just fighting for student numbers. So I think the point is that we have really good access to the material that we want to cover. And I think I teach a class on renewable energy. I think that's the most important topic. You guys have other lesser topics that you think is important, but I can give that information out to all who are interested. And it's not when can I take the class or something else. So there's a beautiful thing there. I'm not sure every course should be online. There's certain things. And actually, I think one of the things that, I don't really have it in here, but I was thinking about it, like, one of the big things with online is cheating. Nobody talked about that. We have 10% of students cheat. No matter what you do, they're going to be cheating on you somehow. So if I was going to do a class and I really wanted to make sure they knew the content, I would bring them in and test them a couple times this semester just to find out if they actually knew it. Because no matter what you do, they're spending way too much time trying to figure out shortcuts. And we're changing up material all the time. We're changing quiz questions. We're randomizing stuff. We're changing reflection questions. Everything I do that's written goes through turned in, so we can tell what's going on with that. So I think, so there's some advantages to online learning. I think not everything should be online. I like the hybrid classes too. So happens to be that I'm doing this. So is there anything, before I start, is there anything you want to know that I can make sure I cover? Yeah.
The picture of the guy jumping in the ice, was that you?
Not me, no. I would never do that. Never, ever. That even just, I could, you would like to do it once? Well, Ed, we could do that. You pick a day. Anything else? Anything that you heard this morning about Canvas or stuff that you're like, oh, I really want to talk about that? No, you don't care. Okay. I'll just keep going then. More on the course. So I don't do anything fancy with Gradebook. I do 1,000 points. So if you want to ask about how Canvas does weighting and all this stuff, this is weighted this and that, I don't do that. It's 1,000 points. And if I want something to be weighted more, I give it more points. So that is my weighting. It works great. My course uses video lectures. I do the One Button Studio lately, but when I started, we didn't have one button. We had me and a camera, and it was much better now. Well, sometimes. I used a green screen for a while. So green screen is where you have the green behind you and you get rid of the green so it looks like you're floating on the screen. I have those videos out there too. So yes, I use video lectures, and then I write a lot of material for the class. Renewable energy is changing all the time, so it's not like a textbook that I can get that's going to be the same every semester. It's like oil prices are down, oil prices are up, wind is good, wind is bad, this is happening. And just since I've been teaching since 2011, there's just been a lot of changes. So no textbook, I write a lot for these lessons. I'll have 20 pages of writing, bring in some new graphs about supply and demand, stuff like that that I'm doing. My assessments are quizzes and short reflections. I have 29 lessons. Every time they get a quiz and they get something to write to me about. So it used to be when we had Moodle, I used the forum in Moodle on one of them, and so they could read each other's things. And I have all these people in groups of about 25, so they just got to see their 25 other responses. With Canvas, forums, they call them discussions now, don't connect with Turnitin. And so I'm like, I'm not doing it. And it's not an advantage anyhow, because as students go through your course, if they don't have to read somebody else's stuff, they don't. They're doing their own response, and they care less. And some people, the way I structure the course, they can get out 2 weeks in advance of the due date. So I give students 2 weeks to get the stuff done. So I open today I open lessons up that are due 2 weeks from now. So they're done today. I mean, there's 5 of them that are done tonight, and they're writing me like, hey, you messed up this quiz question, it's not right. So they're my checkers. Some people like do that accessibility thing. I don't need that. They know, they tell me what's going on, and they're really quick with emails. But they don't want to come back and read somebody else's forum response, so they're not going to do that. And the people that are doing it at 2 minutes before the deadline, they don't have time. They're just going to do their response and be on with it. So I said, we're just going to do all assignments. So that means that just I and the instructors get to see their assignments. So quizzes and short reflections. Project with peer review. So we actually are using, some of the students are using One Button Studio. They're going in and recording, because I make them do a project. They have to do something. The project is do something and report it. So they have to do something like, I don't want you on the computer doing research, go out and do something. So they do a home energy audit, they do tour a power plant, they go on a tour somewhere else, they go interview somebody at a company, they do whatever they want to do, and then they have to report back, and they have to do it in a video format. So I do that, and it used to be a workshop, so peers could review each other's stuff. Canvas doesn't have workshop because, well, it doesn't. It's not critical. But I have set it up so they can peer review each other. I just can't give them points in the system. The system isn't set up to give them points for their peer review. So I assign them each 2 projects to review. And they get to do that. But then I have to go and grade in a separate assignment. I have to check them. And it's actually going to work pretty good right now. They have a final paper, and they have a final exam.
600 final papers.
I've helped. I'm not really, I don't read them all really closely.
Yes, but the sleeping, do you get to do the sleeping also, or is it just 24 hours? Like, how do you, like, seriously manage that?
So with that many students?
Yeah.
So I have some really good help. So the question is, like, when do I sleep? Because there's a lot of stuff, and we do answer a lot of questions that you got to be on top of it. With that many students, you cannot have mess up anywhere. So you're watching the email all the time for Turnitin is down, or Moodle is down, or Google Drive didn't work, and we had some stuff on there like, holy cow, don't mess me up here. So we are always on top of that. So, and I have one of the other co-teachers, Cindy, and I share a BBE 2201 account, so it's a shared email account for the class. And so we can all access that, and we're just always like, we're responding within a couple hours until about 10 o'clock at night. And probably twice or 3 on the weekends whenever we get to it, but I'm sure it's not ever more than 10 hours between checking those sites. It's all right. What else do I have to do, right? It's fun. It's fun. So my summary is nothing is perfect. Moodle, it wasn't perfect. There's things that I sent to Moodle Help all the time. Canvas, they're getting to know me really well. I would choose Canvas today. Students don't really care. And it wasn't hard for them to navigate through Canvas, and they had, one of my student graders, she has both, and she said, it doesn't matter. And they did not have any problems with that transition. The students didn't. And maybe it's, I'd like to think it was because I organized it really well. I'm not sure that's true, but you know, if they step it through, they figured it out. I don't know. Students are smarter. There's something about, oh, I don't talk about the course transition, but I would not be afraid of that. I would definitely follow what Annette said about cleaning up your course. From 2011, I dumped it all. I'm like, I have so much stuff that I don't use, and now I just got to figure out how to find it and delete it and all that stuff. So definitely clean up your course before you dump it in there. But once it was done, even with this complexity, I dumped it in, and I had a student who didn't know anything about Moodle. She wasn't like trained in Moodle editing and stuff. And I said, can you know, for the next couple days, can you look at this? And within 2 days, she had all the stuff formatted correctly in all of Canvas. It was 8 hours or 10 hours of her time, and she didn't know what she was doing when she started. So she was a smart girl, but it went pretty good. So the old format looked like this. You have a little text and a little video thing that they click on. This is kind of boring, and I think that is a boring format for Canvas, but that's what the students see. They just see this, lesson 1. They have to click on it, but once they click on it, it goes to the next thing, to the next thing, the next thing. They just keep clicking the next button to get it through there. And so then I have this thing, like at the end, lesson 1, you're done, because otherwise they click into lesson 2 not even knowing it. If they're, I mean, some students, I had a student, I swear, I kid you not, she was halfway through the semester and she said, you know, I've taken this course already. She had forgotten that she had taken the course. I mean, I thought I was impressive with the course, but to me, to write to me and say, you know, is it okay if I don't do this because I've already taken the course before? I just realized it, like, oh my gosh, whatever. So Gradebook looks about the same. That the students see the Gradebook, it's similar, so I would not worry about the Gradebook. The full Gradebook is similar, but a little bit different. This is all my Turnitin stuff, so I could see like the colors, meaning green is, I don't know what the designation was, but as the Turnitin similarity score gets higher, you know, you get really red if it's up at 66%. So this is saying green and blue. I don't know what the colors are, but definitely I'm flagging stuff when it's red as I go through that. The pink is late assignments. They were turned in late. So that's something to watch for. You can sort by student. You can do a find by student. Click on that, and then you get back to their student grades. This is really cool. And do you guys do the sporting requirement thing where you have to report on the student, like,
For like student
right?
athletes?
Student athletes. Sorry, student athletes. So like, how much of the course have you completed? What's their score? All this stuff. Were they participating? You know, like I can see their grade here. I can see that they missed they were late on 2 assignments. It was so quick to go through this. So that was really handy to use for that. I just had to say like, oh, about 40% through the course, boom, right there. This is another student analytics. Tons of stuff that you can look at with students, but this student happened to be me. When I was starting out, I was really good at completing the assignments, and then I started missing them. So this would be the date on the bottom. It just doesn't go that far for every assignment, and then you hover over that assignment. It tells you what assignment was and what the score was that student got. So it's pretty quick to assess how a student is doing. Are they missing a lot of stuff? If you felt like going back through this. So I think that is pretty cool. The quiz analysis is awesome in this. So I have a random questions in my quizzes, but in Moodle, how do you assess which, you know, like students are getting all of question 1 wrong, when all of question 1 was the same question 1, it was easy, but now when it's all mixed up, you don't know why they're getting it wrong or if you have a problem question. This tells you 181 out of 181, so everybody had this first question. This one, only 163 had that question. So this is saying 94% answered correctly. This one, 64% answered correctly. So then I can start looking at those questions going like, wow, is something wrong with this question?
You can do this in Moodle, but it's
Not
not intuitive.
intuitive.
It's very hard to find.
Right. This is just a click, and it just like goes through that quiz.
Still, like I do it all the time, and I always screw it up, and I'm like relearn how to find exactly what.
Right, and even with randomized, you can do it with randomized questions in a question bank?
You gotta go all the way down to the bottom of the list, and then there's like sort of a generic question. You click
Yep.
on that, and that brings you to this new list of it, not randomized like the actual questions.
Yeah. This was really nice when I saw this, and it's like, oh. So the question for all you studio viewers, the question was like Moodle, or the comment was that Moodle can do this, but it's not quite as easy. So that is cool. Grading writing assignments, you saw this before. You can take this little thing, so you have a turn in a writing assignment. You can do your edits right on here. You can grab one of these little things, write some text, highlight whatever you want on the student paper. And then you grade it, you can add comments to it, you submit it, you're done. You go to the next one. So that's kind of cool. And this one is the turn it in score is right here. And if that gets high, you click on that and it sends you to turn it in. And then you can evaluate whether it's high for a reason or it's just high because they copied the whole question into their response.
Am I seeing that that's a docx and it's actually showing up that?
Yep, so they submit it as a docx.
That's nice.
And so I can download it if I wanted to.
That's good. Moodle right now, it's only like, shows up if it's a PDF.
Yeah.
They also submit a docx even when you tell them not to.
Even when you tell them not to. This you can really limit what kind of files they upload and media they upload, so that's really nice, and that you control that a little bit. Calendar option is cool, and I think students are actually, and this can export to your own Google Calendar, so you just have it like, you could have all this showing up on your own calendar, and I think some students have done that, so they're not ever going to the course. They click on, oh, lesson reflection biogas, they'll go to that, then they'll click the previous, they'll access the course from their calendar, which is pretty cool, I think. I don't know, they figure stuff out, like, oh, how did you do that? Other things I like, the quizzes setup is really nice. Question banks are gone. You see all the questions that are in your question bank right there in your quiz. So when you're in quiz, you see them all and you can, the formatting is really nice. You see all the questions and all the answers that you give and which one is correct and what type of question it is. You can edit right on there. If you open a quiz and a couple students take the quiz, in Moodle, what happens? You are locked out of doing any changes, or you can change the text, but you can't do any. I can add questions. After the quiz is open, I can delete questions or add questions to this quiz, which is awesome because sometimes I think of something else I want to ask them, and you were locked out before. So I think that's really cool. Setup is great. Evaluation of questions, so that's the thing I showed you before. Can delete a question. And course announcements is good. I mean, you can easily set out a, like, hey guys, what are you doing, and whatever. So a few things that are stupid to me, there's no undo. Like, how many times you made a mistake and you want to undo it? Like, oh, I shouldn't have cut that out. There's no undo. So I got really good with this Control Z and Control Y. Boom, boom. Which is nice I learned that, but like in the beginning it was like, how do I do this? I had to retype everything.
You mean in the,
Like right up here, there's that arrow that goes like this and an arrow that goes like that. They don't have the arrows that go like this and like that. Just so annoying, like why didn't they do that? And I'm assuming they're gonna put that in, right? And that's gone. So anyhow, when you open a new window for a file, so if you want to link to an outside website or YouTube video, it's not giving you the access to put it into a new window. It opens it up in place of your window. So in order to do that, it doesn't give you the box. So I'm like, guys, I can't do this. They go, well, you have to use the Control K. Control K, so you highlight your text and you do a Control K and then it gives you that box. Then you can insert the URL and then you can do this target thing. Why they don't do it in the regular, I have no idea, but I'm hoping they fix it. I know Control K now, so, and you do too, so it's not a big deal. All right, the activity log, so I have students saying that they submitted something, and with Turnitin being kind of goofy and Canvas, I don't know what's going on all the time. I'm like, did you turn it in or did you not? In Moodle, you look at the activity log, you go like, well, you never visited that page, or the only time you visited that page was yesterday. The assignment was due 3 weeks ago, so I'm not sure you submitted it like you said. So you go there now. You go there now, and this activity log, it's called Access Report, says they visited that assignment 4 times, and the last time was yesterday. I'm going, well, that isn't that helpful to me. When were the other 4 times they did it? Yesterday also, early in the morning? So you can send a note to Canvas, which I do every time now, Canvas Help. Can you tell me if these people access this particular assignment? And they can tell you. They have access to it because for some reason I think it connects to all the courses. So if you see that student, it's all the access to all their courses. It's not, so I would be able to see everything that they ever did in their whole life or something. And I don't want to do that and whatever. So inserting a photo, yeah, Tracy.
There may be a chance that there's a plugin that will do what you want.
That'll be great. I think there's going to be a lot of improvements in Canvas, so that's, I mean, they're always going to fix stuff, especially stupid stuff. Photos is a 2-step process. You have to put it into your files in Canvas before you put it up. You can't just drag and drop it into your thing or just like click on it and bring it in. So that was kind of weird to start with. You can't delete a quiz attempt. So if somebody starts a quiz by mistake and you want to get rid of it, you can't get rid of it. And they said, well, why? And there was a big discussion about this online in the Canvas thing. They said, why would you want to like delete something that a student did? I said, well, have you ever taught a class? like really? And so all the people were like just explaining why this makes a lot of sense to be able to delete it. So now you can't delete it, but you can go in there and give them a second attempt. Second attempt is great. So, but if in that second attempt you have to extend the due date for some reason, then you have to go to a different spot and extend the due date in this assignment setup. So it works. You just got to figure it out. No search by name. So you're speed grading, you want to find a specific person, you can't do that. You have to scroll down through the names and find them, which it works. I think they'll fix that too. Anything else? This is it. My last slide. Yes?
I have a question about cheating.
Cheating, yes.
Cheating, yes, not a how-to, but
How would you cheat?
you know, I had a faculty told me a student who brought this a quick aside, a soda bottle, and had taken the label off the soda bottle and written all the right answers on the inside of the
gosh,
label,
yeah.
stuck
Yep.
it back on, and then,
Yep.
I mean, why not study, right?
Yeah.
But what about some of the online lockdown browsers or Proctorio? Would that be a
I'm
good
not,
idea?
so my stuff, a lockdown browser wouldn't help.
Okay.
I mean, because they have their friends in the room with them, whatever. They have stuff that's in my class. I mean, I don't think it would help. They're getting answers from someone else through email or something like that. So the first person takes it and then they share their answers with everyone else. Or it's in the dorm somewhere, or some frat's got a whole book of my course. Or what's the one online that's everybody shares with? You actually get, oh my gosh, it was amazing how much of my course was there. Like, guys, what's it called? Come on, help me out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the place where it's the place where you can deposit all people's course materials. No, the students upload all the stuff from your class, and then they get so many points, so then they get so many free downloads of other stuff. So if they upload a bunch of stuff from your class and they're struggling in another class that happens to have stuff online, they can download those final exams. Gosh, I'll have to remember what it is. I'll put it in this.
Kind of sad that like none of us in this room know what that is, or like know what.
Oh yeah, you should know where. I was surprised to find it. Yeah, yeah. What I wanted to do was upload everything I could think of to that site, so because it's not sorted very well. I'm like, okay, find it then. I don't care. It's all there. Find it. There's 1,000 pages of stuff labeled final exam BBE 2201, like whatever.
They can't cheat on those video assignments though, right?
Well, so if I'm not changing my quizzes all the time.
Yeah. But they've still got to know it to articulate it, right? It's not the same as cut.
My quizzes are true, false, multiple choice kind of thing. So they can do that. They can't do it as much on the written assignments that I give them. That's why I do the written assignments and turn it in.
But you have them do a video too, right? And you can't.
The video, for the project video, yeah, they don't. Okay, well, that is not true. So in the video, the project video, they're supposed to do a home energy audit. Say that's the project they chose. The person, I have to have pictures of them doing the home energy audit is one of the requirements. Otherwise, they don't. And we have one person that I think they took a picture of them standing by the machine to do it, but all the data was, who knows where that's from? You know, from last semester, their friend who measured these same 8 things. Well, wow, that is weird. You measured the same 8 things, and I have people with, yeah, it's just, people will figure it out. They just do.
That's a good tip.
I mean, tours, they go on a tour. Well, you can get all the information from most tours by going online and reading all the information. I want a picture of you. I couldn't get a picture because they wouldn't allow pictures in the tour thing. I'm like, well, take one outside or take one with the dude you were talking to or something. You know, like, somehow figured out.
Just one last thought. Proctorio, would that be any help for the
What is
cheating?
that? A proctor?
Proctorio, the online camera
Right,
and
I could do
microphone?
that. That would be the next level of stuff.
Okay.
It's too much of a hassle. I just like, I swear they'll figure out a way. So I'm like, 10% are gonna cheat, and that's just the way it is. I'm teaching to the rest of the class, and I'm doing the best I can, my due diligence to try and prevent it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Yes?
What are some things that are on your horizon for trying in e-learning?
The thing that I would really like to try is, I don't know, is Top Hat. I think there's some really cool things with Top Hat that I would try, but right now my class is free. Top Hat, it costs my students $25. I'm like, oh, is it worth it? Because there's some really cool things that I think I like who did the smart book, where you're reading stuff and then a couple quiz questions pop up. That integration that you can do in Top Hat is really cool. We don't have that. It's going from this to take a quiz and this, and it's really choppy like that. I'd love to have a quiz. And of course, with Top Hat, the quiz questions you get are not random. They're the same quiz questions for all the 300 students in your class. So, you know, like if you're worried about cheating, so I was going to say, okay, we'll just let them cheat through there, but then we'll have a quiz afterwards. This is kind of a helper kind of questions, and then do a quiz afterwards that do that. So that was the cool thing, and I think there's some stuff that students can do with Top Hat, like in editing, that's kind of cool. So, and it's a book, so I could be able to sell my materials. So supposedly,
So yeah, just
somebody'd have to want them first.
So I use Top Hat in my in-person classes, but I haven't even thought or considered like how it could be deployed in an entirely online class. Like in my head, it's nice for in-person because you can kind of just get a quick snapshot of where everyone's at and you can see that immediately. But in an online setting, that kind of like live time is decoupled from you and them. So
Yes.
why would
Right.
like why not use like Qualtrics or something so that you could make them do surveys or whatever else you want them to do, but that would be free, like
So the
what does Top
so
Hat
the cool
offer?
thing about the Top Hat that I liked, and it wasn't the like in class like
Yeah.
answering questions on your phone in real time and stuff like that. It wasn't that. It was the creation of the document and the quizzes integrated. So
Okay.
that was the different part. That's what I was thinking of. It's completely different than the Top Hat in
Like the other functions, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In-person course stuff that they do.
Thank you.
Brent. Want to record every word, Brent.
So precious. What have you had to do as far as repercussions for cheating students? You know, warning them, kicking them out of class, reporting it, what kind of things?
So where we're able to catch them is it's amazing. Like, guys, there's a similarity report. You're turning it in to turn it in. Like, we know that you're copying this stuff. Like, it's not rocket science, but they don't always get it apparently. But so what we've done it in the past. If you're turning in a bunch of stuff like that, especially the final paper, we send them to the student conduct people, and they sit down with them and have a chat, and they're now in their black book over there, and if they get 3 marks in their black book, then it goes on the record. And I assure students that if this is your first time, there's no real consequences except going there and chatting with them. If it's your 3rd time, you're in trouble. And it's not my problem, then it's your problem. I'm going to turn you in, though, because if we don't turn those students in, they're going to keep going. So I want them to like make sure that they know we're watching. So, but so on these little ones, like I just got one 66% similarity. Talking to the student a lot about how to do that, and it's uploaded the wrong document, oh, it's too late, like that. So it's like, how do you work with that? It was a 250-word assignment. That was a lot of, and it's sort of plagiarism, sort of cutting and pasting and changing a couple words and that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's just a pain. Anything else? Questions? Okay, well, have a nice Thursday afternoon.